They're little parakeet, but they're quiet and they're tame and.
There's actually virtually no interest for these things.
Right. So this is where we brood birds after they come out of the what I call the day-old brooders up in the incubation house. They come down here and they'll go into the battery brooder for about 2 weeks, and after they come out of these, they'll go into the individual brooder stalls. These use like a sweater heater. All the others, I thought I had some open, I don't. All the others, I use the infrared type of heat lamp. They're pricey. They're more than an incandescent bulb, but the thing about them, you can splash water on them. It doesn't pop the element in them, and it's infrared heat. So it's not going to heat the air, but it heats the organic material, the bird.
How much are those things?
About $24 a piece.
And how long will they last?
I haven't burned any out yet, so I can't tell you. I've been using them for 2 years.
Really?
Yeah. So other than.
How many watts are those, John?
I think these are 100 maybe, or 75. Let's look and see. I'm sure it says on it somewhere, doesn't it?
So you ordering them from China?
I'm getting them through. It's a supplier, Chinese supplier. Yeah, they're made in Taiwan, I think. Alibaba, maybe. That might be. Oh, right here. I think. 240 volt. No. I want to say they're 100 watt because that's what I tried. But even if it were 200, everything that I have gets plugged into a thermostat.
Did you make that thermostat?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So and again, I make them so that if thermostat trips, it's an open pole type, so there's no power going anywhere, which means I try to do rounds through the brooder house and the birds 4 times a day.
So it should be pretty safe.
Right. And the other thing in here,
I was going to ask you about that because these things, they used to say you need to operate these
wide open.
Well, you need to have the room temperature 75, 80 degrees.
Right, yeah, wide open. And,
Yeah.
But these are just, after the birds are starting feathers, they're just in here to keep separate. So, but this room, I'll usually run this to keep the room about 75 degrees, 80 degrees. Now, as we get later in the year, I have window fans that go in these little windows.
You have no more heaters running.
Right, because I need to keep the room cooler. But I was using those little ceramic heaters, the little ceramic heat emitters. And they just, to me, they got too hot and too central an area, and all they did was heat air. They didn't really heat the animal as well.
Yep.
And I know they're right for basking spots for reptiles, but to me it didn't work as well. And then I started doing like infrared panels with heat tape, but I don't have any of those here right now. I think I've given the last ones away, so I've got to make some more. But I do like acoustic ceiling tile.
Yep.
I'll peel those back and I'll put 4-inch heat tape in it.
Kind of like a mother hen type of.
Right, it's like a heater, a sweater, a chick sweater.
Yep.
But they work pretty good.
So is this the original heaters that were in
Yes.
these things?
Yeah.
This is a Tractor Supply.
Right, but I changed. See how I changed all the mounting system on them?
Yep.
Because the original mounting system, they were slammed way up, and it's like, well, you need with these things. I really think you need to be about 3 to 4 inches maximum away from the chick. Not.
Do you remember they used to have it used to be called mother hen brooders? They had like
I
a
think so.
heat element on it, and then it was like a fabric that hung down, and the chicks would get under it,
Right, and rub up against the fabric.
and
Right,
stay warm.
Yeah, well, yeah. These I retrofitted. If you notice, they've all got daylight LEDs on them.
Yep.
And I've got little computer fans that what I'll probably do after they get going is I'll drop the computer fan on the back. I made little panels that the fans are on, so I can open the door, bolt it,
Yep.
and have the little fan. The one other thing I'm going to do on it, they come with this plastic mesh on the ground.
Yep.
You saw that 1/4-inch vinyl coated wire head up there in
Yep.
the incubation house. I'm going to pull all this off and put that wire down just to give a little better support.
Uh-huh.
That man is a little bit large, and I'm
How
worried
is that
about
hard
knees.
to clean? How hard is that to clean?
That
seems
to
like it'd be
me,
hard.
right. Well, the biggest thing I'm worried about is like knees dropping
Yeah,
down
you're
in it.
getting caught in there.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Those Leucopsis brooders for the my waterfowl brooders. There was one size of the grid that came with some of the brooders. They get the knees in there, and
Right.
of course that's the end of it. You know, you're not going to fix that.
And if here's again, let's see. Can I give me a second? It might take me a minute. But we can do it. Again, everything's on thermostat. I wire thermostats on everything.
So you wired all that in
Yeah.
there. To me, it seems like they got rid of all these brooders in
Right.
Tractor Supply because I'm guessing they lost too many chicks because it wasn't.
They
Because
don't get warm enough.
you need heaters in
Right.
there. Yeah, it was
Right.
just too cold.
Well, and the thing in Tractor Supply is it's a big open floor, and that door's and they
Yeah,
always
that-
put it right there at the
Yeah,
door, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So your
You get grass
temperatures.
swinging in and
Right.
out, and yep.
So in here, I try to make the environment somewhat stable as much as I can, and then all I need to do is like a 10 or 15 degree differential to the brooder,
Yep.
if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
I think it would be harder if I was in a big room and I needed to do like a 35 or 40 degree differential. Because the other thing they have when you go this, there's a big old air conditioning duct right inside the door.
Yeah.
That. These are the last cage pen that birds are in before they go outside. They have, if you open up, they have a individually controlled light as well as an individually controlled heat element. So I can put the bird in there, I can control that environment right there. And yeah, there's stuff everywhere in here. As you can tell, we're shifting everything, getting ready. But that's the last little pen they'll go into before they go outside to an above ground pen. We try to go from the incubation house to this, to the individual brooders, and then to outside above ground pens, and then finally.
So do you mix
ground.
broods?
Yes.
You mix broods? You mix species?
Yes. Now I mix broods, but only if it's like within that week.
Couple days. Yeah.
Right. If it's within 5 days, I'm okay running them together.
You okay with jungle fowl running them together too?
No.
'Cause, yeah, we tend to after like a day, it's
Yeah.
that's pretty much the end of the
No,
story.
jungle fowl are their own story. But the pheasants, if it's like within 5 days, like Monday to Friday, I'll,
And then there's got to be some species that you just don't
no,
mix.
like the
together
reeds
because
don't mix with
yeah.
anybody. Siamese
There's
fireback.
nothing worse than raising something up to 4 or 6 weeks
Oh no.
and then having.
Well, by the time they come out here, they get broken into species.
Oh, they do.
Right. That's the reason I wanted this, so I could have 5 different species in here.
How many species do you keep for pheasants?
10. Yes, I'm still short.
Yeah, you know.
I'm still short. Yeah, I'm still short. But there's 5 other brooders here too, though. So
Yeah.
9 other brooders.
Yeah, so you're
There's
all
one
set.
there, 2, 4.
That's actually a really good utilization of space.
Right. Yeah,
So
I cramp stuff in.
No, so how have you thought about like? Remember when we were up at Ron's? He had small brooders. Have you thought about anything like that?
These I have compartments of drop in.
Oh, that's little
Yeah.
tiny compartments.
Yeah. Right now it's wide open because I'm in the
Yep.
process of getting ready to sterilize, clean it. But I have those little folder things that were up in there. That's what drops into these. That's the reason the doors open up the way they do.
Ah, yeah.
So I can drop those in, slide it in, and again it's infrared heat, so I don't have to worry about direct heat. I can heat this whole thing.
Right.
Because again, I run the radiant oil heater to get this room temperature up. So
It's all insulated.
all except for a couple places I've got to fix where a tree came through right above your head.
Like have trees come through. All
Oh yeah,
over.
you look above your head. Yeah, we had to drop 26 trees here last year. So